In a mind-boggling performance worthy of the best days of Fiddlers on the Roof, here played by Charlie Daniels, Rudi Giuliani gave it to Barack Obama real good. His administration is incompetent.
And why this administration has trouble figuring that out when the man yelled out Allah Akbar when he was murdering people, as a former prosecutor, I find frighteningly incompetent.
He referred to Holder's early decision to hold a trial of the alleged 9/11 mastermind in federal court in New York as irresponsible. Though it had been done before when Bush was in office. I forgot. In some 160 cases?
The Obama administration is repeating the mistake of history.
The trial for Sheikh Mohammed should be held in Guantanamo, before military tribunals, presumably where it would be easier to cover up that many of the so-called confessions were obtained by torture. The fact that torture was used to extract confessions is well documented and on records provided in redacted form by the FBI, by the Red Cross, and by participants at military trials. Of the 850 or so detainees, close to 700 had to be released, many after 6 or more years of detention, because, despite all efforts to prove otherwise, they were innocent. Some 60 or so of them were so pissed off they joined Al-Qaeda. During a trial in New York, the question whether Sheikh Mohammed's confession was obtained by torture would certainly come up. But as I argued in one of my earlier reports, a conviction in New York was almost certain, as you cannot find one single juror in New York who has not made up his mind. And given the history, I cannot blame them. To give it a little more fiddle, Giuliani now came up with a brilliant argument. The cost of a KSM trial in New York over 4 to 5 years would reach $1 billion. Now, if that didn't make Obama and Holder dance to Giuliani's and the Republicans' fiddle, what would? Well, I came across an article published in a law magazine which discloses another facet of the problem. There are nearly 10,000 cases pending in New York federal court, filed against Giuliani, the City of New York, the Port Authority of New Jersey and New York, you name it. The presiding judge, Alvin Hellerstein, disclosed that there are complex settlement negotiations pending, so he didn't know the numbers, the terms, or the timetable. The article concludes that there is pressure on the settlement negotiations because of the upcoming KSN trial. Gee, I wonder whether that had some influence on the decision to move the trial away from New York, though the cost may have been a strong argument. Meanwhile, Giuliani and his Republican fiddlers continued to be against everything, from health care to avoiding the Great Depression to you name it. Have a nice Sunday, the day of autism. 12 grown men throwing rubber balls at each other. Come on.